Joining us with his reaction, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. Senator Graham, let me put that question right to you. If the man that we see in front of us on the screen cannot handle an answer to an obvious debate question, feet away from Donald Trump, how can he handle being the commander-in-chief of our armed forces, feet away from world leaders who don't exactly always like America?
Yeah, how does he absorb what's going on in the world, given what we saw in the debate? Our enemies are watching that debate. I'm very worried about what they took away from this debate. If you're Iran, do you really push before November to get a nuclear weapon, thinking that Biden's compromised? The bottom line here, this is a very dangerous time. When President Trump told our enemies, watch what you're doing here, don't take advantage of this situation, I hope our enemies are listening. But 76% of the American public believe that Joe Biden is not capable mentally of having the job. If you're a Democratic senator in these contests, Joe Biden is going to sink you. I think they'll replace him. I think it's going to be abundantly obvious you cannot convince the American people this guy can serve another 4 years, that he's not mentally with it. The world is too dangerous to have him in the commander-in-chief chair. So I think there's going to be a real move here soon to replace him. But here's what I want you to know. You may change the name of the person, but they all have the same policies.
That's right. That's what's important. I think it's not just the energy, but the policies, and trying to convince us for years now that Joe Biden is some kind of secret trapeze artist or triathlete behind the scenes. Nobody's buying it. Senator, I wanted to ask you something I asked Congressman Donalds just a segment or two ago. Do you see anybody in the Democratic Party in the United States Senate with whom you serve who's actually willing to stand up and be maybe the first or second person to say, Joe, you got to go?
I think you're going to see more and more of that. If you're Tester in Montana, you're Brown in Ohio, you're Jackie Rosen in Nevada, you're Bob Casey, you're going to be asked until the cows come home, do you think Joe Biden's fit to serve 4 more years? Do you think he's mentally capable of being commander-in-chief? And 70% of the people in those states say he's not. So you're going to be running against the headwinds of the folks, you know, in your own state. I think that we need the tapes. Did he have a cold? Does that explain his behavior on that night? Or is it deeper? Is it what Carl Bernstein said? It's been a long time in the making. Had they been lying to us for over a year? So remember when the special counsel interviewed President Biden and they concluded they would have a hard time convicting him because the jury would believe he's a nice man with a bad memory?
Yes.
I want those tapes.
Yes.
I want to hear those tapes, because that will be a good comparison as to whether or not it was a cold, or has this been a continuous problem? Are they withholding information to the American people to make a good judgment about should Biden serve 4 more years? I want to hear those tapes. I don't think this is a cold. I think this is a problem been in the making for over a year, and they've been lying to us and covering it up.
We deserve to know, Senator. Robert Hur released the tapes. I know people of power are trying to get those tapes. Just quickly, Senator, you serve with Kamala Harris in the Senate and on the Judiciary Committee. Is she up to the job of president?
I think all of her instincts are bad when it comes to making us safe and prosperous. She's capable physically, but her policy choices are horrible. A nightmare for the American people if she gets to be president of the United States.
Take it to the bank, folks, because Senator Graham has spent more time with her than the rest of us. She's turned the vice presidency into a no-show job. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.